You know that saying, play stupid games, win stupid prizes? Well, the Clearwater Ridge HOA just won themselves a grand prize in embarrassment, all because they tried to evict the wrong guy from the land he owns. Not only do I own my ranch, I also happen to own their headquarters, and they didn't even know it. Here's how it all went down. I'm Jack Mercer, 52, rancher by trade, landowner by birth. My family's held over 500 acres on the edge of Hill County, Texas, since my great-grandfather settled the land in 1894. We raise Black Angus cattle, run a few beehives, and host hunting leases during the off-season. The land is deeded, surveyed, fenced, and paid for, clear and simple. 10 years ago, the county approved the development of Clearwater Ridge, a gated modern farmhouse-style community that popped up just east of my property. At the time, I sold off 20 acres of low-value floodplain near the old creek bed to the developer. No good for cattle, but apparently perfect for fake barn-style homes with Bluetooth mailboxes. Little did I know that decision would come back to haunt me. Enter Marjorie Karen Caldwell, HOA president and self-appointed queen of Clearwater Ridge. From the moment I met her, Karen had a superiority complex big enough to need its own zip code. She hated my fencing, claimed the mooing from my cows was aggressive, and once left me a note suggesting I power wash my barn to meet the community aesthetic. I ignored her, until last fall, when I got an envelope on my gate, notice of eviction, unauthorized occupation of community-adjacent property. Say what? According to the letter, the HOA had voted to reclaim a portion of land erroneously being used for personal agricultural purposes and demanded I vacate my own barn, the same barn that's been standing since 1932, within 30 days. I thought it was a joke. I laughed, until Karen showed up in person. She rolled up in a white Lexus, clipboard in hand, and told me, to my face, that my ranch operations were not compatible with the vision of Clearwater Ridge, and that I'd need to relocate livestock off community lands. That's when I stopped laughing. I asked her how exactly she figured my land belonged to Clearwater Ridge. Her answer? The HOA bylaws extend to all property within a 1,000-foot buffer zone of the community perimeter. It's common zoning logic. I nearly spit my coffee. Zoning logic? Lady, this is Texas, not a SimCity map. What she didn't know, and what made this entire situation poetic, is that when I sold those 20 acres to the developer, I retained the mineral rights and leased back one structure for agricultural storage. That structure? The big red barn-style building they converted into the HOA's main office and clubhouse. Yup, they were operating the HOA out of a building sitting on land I still owned, and was leasing to them under a contract that required annual renewal. So I went to my lawyer, dusted off the lease agreement, and sent the HOA a formal notice of termination of tenancy, effective immediately. Within 48 hours, Karen and her cronies were being escorted out of the HOA building by a county sheriff. But I wasn't done. I filed a slander of title claim and attached a civil suit for attempted encroachment and harassment. My lawyer had a field day. Turns out, multiple HOA letters had cited false land boundaries, and Karen had even sent a letter to the county assessor requesting a zoning reassignment for my parcel. It was textbook overreach. The judge ruled in my favor. The HOA was ordered to issue a formal apology and mail it to all Clearwater Ridge residents. Pay $148,000 in damages and legal fees. Vacate the building entirely within 30 days, which they did begrudgingly. They now run HOA meetings from the back room of a local bakery. Karen stepped down shortly after. And me? I reopened the building, and now lease it out to a local 4-H club and host beekeeping workshops twice a month. The new sign on the front? Private property, ranchers welcome, Karen's not. I still wave to the Clearwater folks when I see them driving by. Most are decent folks who admit they never knew the HOA was this crazy. Some even buy honey from my stand now. Funny how quickly people change their tune when the rancher turns out to be their landlord.